Though I never imagined sharing such a story, here I am, still reeling from the shock of what my parents did. My name is Parker Mitchell, and at 28, I'm the CFO of a promising tech startup in Silicon Valley. What I'm about to share isn't just about money. It's about trust, family, and the painful process of setting boundaries. My sister Aubrey, 22, recently graduated from UC Berkeley with a communications degree. While our parents have always had their unique approach to parenting, their latest action has left me completely stunned. For context, I've always been the responsible one in the family. After graduating from Wharton, I worked my way up in the tech industry, becoming financially independent by 22. I'm proud of what I've achieved, earning a comfortable salary of $150,000 plus stock options. Aubrey, on the other hand, has been our family's perpetual princess. Don't get me wrong, I love my sister, but the favoritism has always been glaringly obvious. While I worked part-time jobs through college, Aubrey has never had to work a day in her life. She lives in a luxury apartment in San Francisco, courtesy of our parents, Harrison and Victoria Brown, who run a real estate development company. Parker, you're just naturally more independent, they'd say, justifying their differential treatment. Aubrey needs more support. A memory from my teenage years still stings. I was 16, and after months of saving my part-time job earnings, I was finally ready to buy the latest gaming console. The day I excitedly told my parents I was heading to the store, they casually responded, "Oh, we already got one for Aubrey last week. You can share hers." I tried to be happy for my sister, but the disappointment was crushing. I ended up putting that money into my first stock investment instead. Perhaps a blessing in disguise, though the hurt lingered. Present day. The call that changed everything came through WhatsApp. My mother Victoria's voice message popped up, bubbling with excitement. "Parker, darling. We just finalized Aubrey's graduation present, a month-long luxury tour of Europe. The hotels are absolutely divine." I was genuinely happy for my sister until my mother's next message stopped me cold. "We used your credit card to book everything. We needed the points from your premium card to upgrade some of the flights and hotels. We'll pay you back, of course." My thumb hovered over the screen, blood rushing in my ears. Had I heard that correctly? I quickly called her back. "Mom," I struggled to keep my voice steady. "Did you just say you used my credit card?" Without asking me? "Oh, Parker, don't be so dramatic." She dismissed my concern with a laugh. "It's for your sister's graduation. Family helps family. Besides, we're good for it." When I finally managed to ask about the amount, her casual response felt like a punch to the gut. "Just $115,000. We'll pay you back eventually." My mind reeled. $115,000 charged to my credit card without my knowledge or consent. In the tech startup world, where financial credibility is everything, this could seriously impact my professional reputation. "Mom," I tried to reason, "you can't just use my credit card without asking. That's illegal." $115,000 is a massive amount. She scoffed, her tone turning icy. "You've always been so selfish. Can't you just be happy for your sister?" This is her moment. Your obsession with money is really quite distasteful. I ended the call feeling a toxic mix of betrayal, anger, and disbelief. How had my own parents just casually committed credit card fraud and then made me feel guilty about objecting to it? Following days. Over the next few days, I desperately tried to make my family understand the gravity of the situation. I sent carefully worded WhatsApp messages to my father, Harrison, hoping his business background would help him see reason. His responses left me even more frustrated. "Son, I don't understand why you're making such a fuss," he typed. "We've always had access to your card for emergencies. We thought this one time would be fine." He followed up with a voice message. "This is about your sister's future, Parker. The connection she'll make on this trip could be invaluable for our family business. Each notification from our family group chat made my stomach clench. Aubrey had been sharing Pinterest boards and Instagram reels of her planned destinations, completely oblivious to the situation. "Thanks for helping with my graduation trip, big bro," she messaged, adding a string of luxury hotel photos. I stared at my office window in the heart of Silicon Valley, the weight of the situation crushing down on me. As a CFO, I knew exactly how this could impact my financial future. I checked my credit card statement again, $115,000 charged to various luxury hotels and first-class flights across Europe. The irony wasn't lost on me. While I lived in a modest condo, despite my six-figure salary, my sister was about to embark on a luxury tour that could cover a down payment on a house. Family meeting. I decided to call for a family meeting. Given the magnitude of the situation, I reserved a private room at an upscale restaurant in Palo Alto, neutral territory, where we could discuss this civilly. The tension was palpable as we gathered around the table, the soft clink of expensive cutlery doing nothing to ease the atmosphere. "Before we order," I began, trying to maintain my composure, "we need to address what happened with my credit card." "Oh, for heaven's sake," my mother Victoria interrupted, adjusting her designer blazer. "Are you still on about that? We've already explained." "Mom," I cut in firmly, "what you did is credit card fraud. It's not just about the money. It's about trust and respect." Aubrey's eyes widened, her perfectly manicured hands clutching her phone. "Fraud? But they're our parents. They said they'd pay you back." Her Instagram story notification popped up on my phone. She was already documenting this family drama. I took a deep breath, channeling the same calm I use during challenging board meetings. "I've contacted my credit card company about the unauthorized charges. They're investigating the situation." The restaurant's elegant ambience shattered with my mother's reaction. "You did what?" she exclaimed, drawing concerned looks from nearby diners. "How dare you treat us like criminals? We're your parents." My father leaned forward, his real estate developer persona taking over. "Son, let's be reasonable here. We can work something out. There's no need to involve outsiders in family matters." I stood my ground, even as I watched my sister's eyes fill with tears. "I've already frozen my credit and filed a report. This isn't about ruining Aubrey's graduation celebration. It's about setting boundaries." The evening devolved from there. Through the carefully crafted menu and elegant surroundings, our family's dysfunction played out like a reality TV show, complete with my sister's live updates to her social media followers. The aftermath. The credit card company's investigation brought both relief and new complications. After reviewing the unauthorized charges, they agreed to reverse the $115,000 worth of bookings. The moment I received the confirmation email in my Silicon Valley office, a weight lifted from my shoulders, only to be immediately replaced by an avalanche of family backlash. My phone buzzed incessantly with WhatsApp notifications. Mother's voice messages grew increasingly hostile. "How could you do this to your own sister? We raised you better than this." Meanwhile, Aubrey took to Instagram, posting a tearful story about how her money-obsessed brother had ruined her dream graduation trip. The comments section quickly filled with her followers taking sides in our family drama. I watched through my office window as the San Francisco fog rolled in, mirroring the cloud of confusion and hurt surrounding me. Several startup colleagues who followed Aubrey had already seen her posts, leading to awkward conversations in the break room. The personal had become painfully public. "Parker, your sister's trending locally," my assistant mentioned cautiously, showing me the growing social media storm. Sibling betrayal was gaining traction in the Bay Area tech community. Not exactly the kind of attention a startup CFO needs. Family intervention. An unexpected ally emerged when my Aunt Eleanor Mitchell, a prominent lawyer in the city, reached out via LinkedIn of all places. "I saw what's happening," her message read. "Can we meet for coffee?" The next day, at a quiet cafe away from the tech corridor, Eleanor shared some illuminating family history. "Victoria, my sister, has always been like this with money," she explained, stirring her artisanal latte. "She nearly bankrupted our parents during the dot-com bubble, convinced she could flip Silicon Valley properties overnight. Did you know," she continued, lowering her voice, "that Harrison's development company is struggling? They've been leveraging everything they can to maintain appearances. This trip for Aubrey, I suspect they were counting on your credit to maintain their lifestyle." The conversation with Eleanor helped crystallize my decision. That evening, I sent a carefully worded email to my parents. "I've decided to take a step back from our relationship. The credit card incident isn't just about money. It's about respect, boundaries, and trust. Until we can address these fundamental issues, I need space to protect my well-being and financial security. I've blocked your access to all my accounts and frozen my credit. Any further attempts to access my finances will result in legal action. For Aubrey, I love you, but I can't support this enabling behavior anymore. When you're ready to have an adult conversation about what happened, I'm here." The response was predictable. A barrage of messages painting me as the villain in our family story. My mother's final voice note was particularly cutting. "I hope your precious money keeps you warm at night, since you clearly don't need family anymore." I sat in my condo that evening, the lights of Silicon Valley twinkling below, feeling both drained and oddly empowered. After years of being the responsible one, the reliable one, I had finally said no. The cost was high: my family's fury, social media backlash, potential professional implications. But for the first time in years, I felt truly in control of my own story. 2 months later, the tension from our family fallout still lingered in the California air, but things were starting to shift. I had maintained my distance, focusing on my role at the startup and beginning to explore MBA programs, something I'd always wanted to pursue but had held back from, partly due to family obligations. The most surprising development came through LinkedIn. Aubrey, who had never shown interest in professional networking, sent me a connection request, followed by a direct message. "Parker, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Can we talk? Really talk, not just for social media?" We met at a modest coffee shop, quite different from her usual Instagram-worthy haunts. The change in her demeanor was noticeable. Gone were the designer labels and perfectly curated appearance she usually maintained for her followers. "I got a job," she announced, fiddling with her paper cup. "Entry-level marketing position at a tech firm. Not exactly influencer status, but it's a start." The conversation that followed was more genuine than any we'd had in years. Aubrey admitted she'd always known about our parents' favoritism, but had been too comfortable to question it. "The Europe trip fiasco opened my eyes," she confessed. "I've been living in a bubble, Parker. A very expensive, very unsustainable bubble. Family dynamics." Our parents, however, remained entrenched in their position. Through the family grapevine, mainly Aunt Eleanor, I learned they'd sent Aubrey on a scaled-down trip to California wine country instead. More significantly, Harrison's development company was indeed facing serious financial difficulties. Their attempt to use my credit card had been more desperate than malicious. I received occasional guilt-tripping messages via WhatsApp. "Your father's birthday dinner is next week. Will you continue to punish us by not attending?" Or, "We raised you better than this cold-hearted Silicon Valley attitude." Aunt Eleanor, who had become a valuable mentor, helped me maintain perspective. During one of our regular lunches in the financial district, she observed, "They still don't understand that this isn't about punishment. It's about boundaries. Professional growth." The distance from family drama allowed me to focus on my career. Our startup was gaining traction, and I was finally pursuing my MBA dreams. I had been accepted into a prestigious program that would allow me to continue working while studying. The irony wasn't lost on me when I received a congratulatory message from Aubrey. So proud of my big bro. #MBA #goals. This time posted with my permission and genuine enthusiasm. The most fulfilling change was in my personal growth. I started a photography hobby, something I'd always wanted to explore but never prioritized. My condo began to feel more like a home rather than just a place to crash between work sessions. I even started dating Sarah, a UX designer who understood the complexity of family dynamics in the tech world. During one of our dinner dates, Sarah observed, "It's amazing how setting boundaries with family can feel both terrifying and liberating at the same time." She was right. The past months had been a masterclass in self-respect and personal growth. While the family wounds were still healing, I was finally living life on my own terms, not as the responsible eldest son who could be relied upon to fix everyone else's problems. 6 months later, a new chapter. The San Francisco fog was rolling in as I packed up my condo, preparing for the next chapter of my life. The acceptance letter from the Financial Technology MBA program sat on my desk, a testament to the changes I'd made in pursuing my own dreams. "Need help with those boxes?" Aubrey asked, surprisingly practical in jeans and a casual sweater. Our relationship had evolved into something more authentic over the past months. She'd stuck with her marketing job, even earning a small promotion, and had shifted her social media presence from luxury lifestyle posts to career development content. "Thanks for helping with the move," I said, genuinely appreciative of this new dynamic between us. "How are Mom and Dad handling the news about my relocation?" Aubrey sighed, carefully wrapping one of my photography prints. "Still processing it. Dad's actually been asking questions about your MBA program. I think he's starting to understand." "Mom. Well, she's Mom. But at least she stopped posting passive-aggressive comments on my Instagram." Our parents had begun showing small signs of change. Through family therapy sessions, a condition I'd set for rebuilding our relationship, some truths had emerged. Dad's confession about his company's financial struggles had been particularly illuminating. "I was trying to maintain an image," he'd admitted during one session. "Using your credit card was wrong, but I was desperate to keep up appearances." Professional and personal growth. The startup was supportive of my educational pursuits, even offering to create a hybrid work arrangement. Sarah and I had discussed the challenges of a long-distance relationship, but she remained encouraging. "3 hours isn't that far," she'd said, helping me research apartments near campus. "Besides, you're investing in your future, our future." My photography hobby had blossomed into a small side project, documenting Silicon Valley's less seen corners. It felt symbolic somehow, finding beauty in the real rather than the artificially curated. "Look what I found," Aubrey called out, holding up an old gaming console, the same model I'd saved up for all those years ago. "Remember this?" I laughed, the old hurt finally fading. "You know, that disappointment led me to make my first stock investment." Funny how things work out. Epilogue. As I finished packing my office at the startup, I received a notification. My first student loan had been approved. It felt strange taking on debt when I could have asked my parents for help, but the independence was worth every penny. Aunt Eleanor had sent a houseplant for my new place with a note. "Here's to growing on your own terms." That evening, I hosted a small goodbye gathering. Seeing Aubrey chat naturally with Sarah and my work friends, sharing genuinely earned stories rather than Instagram-perfect moments, I felt a sense of peace. My phone buzzed with a message from Dad. "Proud of you, son." I may not have shown it right before, but I am. The future held uncertainties: graduate school, long-distance relationships, evolving family dynamics. But for the first time, I was facing them on my own terms. As I looked out at the Silicon Valley skyline one last time from my condo, I realized that sometimes the biggest investment you can make is in yourself. Standing there, surrounded by moving boxes and new beginnings, I found myself smiling. The past year had taught me that family ties don't have to be chains, that love shouldn't come with a price tag, and that it's never too late to rewrite your own story.